Legendary Jordan Maxwell. Jordan has spent well over half a century trying to bring the truth of the occult side of contemporary and ancient history, that means the hidden side, to all of you who are interested enough to avail yourself of Jordan's wonderful materials. Welcome back, J.M. How are you?
Well, thank you, Jeff. I'm still here, and
that's my line.
I'm happy to be with you. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So,
How are you?
It's a real wonder. It's a real wonder we're still here, but maybe the Spirit has something in mind.
The Spirit, you know, the other side of that coin is the controllers know they have time on their side. They're not in any hurry. They'll just wait till this generation fades away, and the next generation, this youngest generation, is absolutely frightening. They are, and now there are exceptions, folks, and for you families out there who are doing a good job with your kids, bless you, all of you. But the general majority, and I don't want to call them sheep anymore because they're far more dangerous than sheep, because they have some evil in them that has been imbued by the mass media, and they are capable of damn near anything. Lying now is absolutely expected. There is no morality. And if you're trying to talk to many of these young people about morality and values and integrity, not only do they laugh at you, but they don't know what the hell you're talking about.
You're right. You're right. They stare at you with this glaze in their eyes as if, you know, what in the world what do those words mean? They have
right.
no idea
Restraint,
what you're
responsibility, accountability. Ha ha. Boy,
what
you
is
dumb.
that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's true.
So, and you're right. That's the way the masters have always operated. Is they look at the older people, leave them alone. They're going to be gone soon. Get the children, get the kids, and get them into school. Make them go to our schools, and we will decide what it is they will learn and how they will learn, and what they will read and what they can read. And by the time the parents figure out what's going on, they'll be in an old folks' home and they'll be gone soon. And so I've heard that, you know, many years ago. People would write about that. The communists were talking about that too. How, you know, if you're not gonna change the old people, but it's all right. Get the children in school. The old ones will be gone soon enough. Who the hell cares? They'll be gone. And then, you know, like the Jesuits say, give me a child till he's 7 years old and he's mine forever. So they know that they can mold the child's mind right in front of the parent. The parent has no idea what's going on. And one day you wake up and it's too late. Your kid's on drugs or he's a criminal or whatever, and it's just too late.
You know, it's
all the comics that I've seen, man, you're strong, brother. Why they put us in these dresses? But the minute it was clear, I was adamant. I'm not wearing a dress. I'm not wearing the dress. All right, fine. Think of something else. That comes back 10 minutes later. The whole new scene. Damn, how did you write the scene so fast? You know, it's like, so you gotta take it.
Watch in the next couple of years. They coming after Cat Williams. Cat Williams tell too much truth. They coming after Cat Williams.
Caught on tape in a video going viral. Comedian Cat Williams allegedly punching a Woodland Target employee. Tonight, that worker is telling his story only on CBS 13.
The insulting comments kept reoccurring and keep on. He just came at me.
Good evening, I'm Shannon Bernius.
And I'm Sam Shane, and now the DA is filing charges after that attack.
Stand-up comic Cat Williams has had a controversial visit to Seattle the past few days. And tonight he's telling us his side of the story. Wall4 caught up with Williams as he was ejected from a South Lake Union hotel around 7 p.m. On Sunday, Williams was arrested after an altercation at a nearby restaurant. Police say he argued with customers and threatened the manager with a pool cue. Williams is accused of then throwing a lit cigarette into a family's car, which hit a woman in the face, throwing a rock at that car, and struggling with police officers. A group of fans claims Williams assaulted them after his performance Friday night. Tonight, Williams admitted to us he has had trouble with the law here in Seattle this weekend. He made a string of allegations against police and the media. Then he told us because of his bad weekend in Seattle, he's decided to end his stand-up career.
I'm just going to go ahead and announce my retirement from stand-up. I'm kind of done. This is...
You're not really retired.
I've already discussed it with my kids. I wasn't really going to do it on the Seattle street. I was going to go to Los Angeles and do it in the offices of ICM or Live Nation.
You're just going to have to let real shit be real shit, because these motherfuckers are attacking real shit at every motherfucking angle. They had a story on CNN 3 weeks ago that said the USDA has approved the sale of clone meat to the American public.
That goddamn long. I'm excited than a motherfucker to be at the mansion party. You be looking in all the goddamn rooms, and you fuck around and look in the wrong room and shit.
If language were liquid, it would be rushing in. Instead, here we are in a silence more eloquent than any word could ever be. These words are too solid, they don't move fast enough to catch the blur in the brain that flies by and is gone.
The illuminated torch. This can be simultaneously a symbol of freedom, a symbol of knowledge and awareness, of enlightenment, and it could also be used as a flame of sacrifice, a flame of those in the know using their knowledge to subvert others and to create sacrifice or immolation in the world. I don't tend to see this symbol as such. I tend to look at this symbol as the flame of knowledge, the flame of the torch of freedom, the torch of liberty, and that's how I tend to look at it. But it goes back to the Babylonian queen, the Babylonian version of Isis in the Trinity. So you have, just as you have God the Father, God the Son, and the Blessed Mother, okay, in the Christian Trinity, Semiramis depicted here, the rays of the sun reflected from the moon. She is the moon goddess illuminated, the queen of heaven. She's holding the torch of awareness, of liberty, of freedom, of enlightenment. You see it on the back of old American dimes. You see it in Columbia Pictures logo. You see it on Amoco's gas company logo. So in direct relation to the Queen of Heaven is the symbol of the dove. So the dove is how the moon goddess is depicted as being a crescent, a white crescent moon. The white crescent moon, as it makes its trek inside of our consciousness, it represents conscience, the ability to know right from wrong, and that is a protector energy. It is also the aspect that gives birth to the male principle, the savior of the world, the enlightened neocortex. Here we see Mary, the sacred feminine, the limbic brain, the queen of heaven. She's giving birth to the immaculate heart of Jesus, the savior of the world. She is standing on top of the serpent here, the reptile. She's conquering the R complex, the limbic brain where emotion is born, where care is born in us. Okay? When we listen to our intuition and listen to our inborn knowledge of right and wrong, we conquer the reptile aspect of ourself and we give birth to the son of the Godhead.
What? See, I was high when I originally saw the story. So I waited all the way till I came down to re-look at the story, and it still fucking said the USDA has approved the sale of clone meat to the American public. Ain't that about
amazing, Jordan, is that too late comes and goes at a very early age now, and the parents are oblivious to it. legendary Jordan Maxwell. Jordan has spent well over half a century trying to bring the truth of the occult side of contemporary and ancient history, that means the hidden side, to all of you who are interested enough to avail yourself materials. Of Jordan. Welcome back, JM. How are you?
Well, thank you, Jeff. I'm still here, and
that's my line.
I'm happy to be with you. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah.
So,
How are you?
It's
well,
a real wonder.
Here.
It's a real wonder we're still here, but
well,
the spirit has.
I mean, you look at the quotes here. Vladimir Lenin. All right, you alluded to one of them earlier. This is a little different version of it, but he said, "Give me 4 years to teach the children, and the seed I have sown will never be uprooted." And he's right.
Yep. Unfortunately, he is right. It's true.
Yeah.
And because children depend on the adults to teach them. You know?
Yes, of course. They look at it's just like they're taught to depend on doctors to heal them. They're disempowered every step of the way. They're not supposed to think empowerment or individual achievement or the fact that they can really change their destiny much. It's quite a remarkable paradigm. The goal of socialism is communism. There's another one from Lenin. Nothing could be more correct.
Well, of course. I mean, socialism is the basis for communism. You're not going to have communism unless you get socialism first. And once you get the people understanding and going, and being in compliance with the whole socialist idea that there's nobody of any importance anywhere in the world. It's only the state is important. That's what Lenin said. That's what communism teaches. Only the government and the collective is important. Nobody else, no individual. We're not looking for the uncommon man, the great inventor and the great musician and all the individuals, the Nikolai Tesla's and Royal Rife and Albert Einstein. Well, the hell with all that. We don't need all that. All you need is people to work for, create wealth for the masters. And so they promote the idea of everybody being the same. We all look the same. We all dress the same. We go to the same movies. And basically, we're all the same. There's nobody better than anyone else. Nobody's smarter than anyone else. And like George Carlin said, to make sure that works, we just keep dumbing down the kids until one day we're all dumb together. And nobody knows from crap about nothing. And then you've got a great workforce. And they're not going to argue or badmouth you or do anything because they don't know how to do anything. All they know is they just depend on you for their job and do their job and go home, and that's all they know. And then you give them entertainment and alcohol on every corner. Like
they when we were kids, we all wanted to be cool. Okay, we all wanted to be in, but the peer pressure we were under then is nothing to what these kids now literally grow up to expect and interact with.
We had the intellectual, spiritual part of the human that divides him from his fellow man. And so, it was the Nikolai Teslas and the Albert Einsteins, the people who used their mind to create and to lead the way for the human race to follow. But nobody's doing that today. We don't need that. We got Obama and we got George Bush Jr., and so we don't need any great people. Like I said, the uncommon man.
There are no great people. No, this is all a cult. I'd say culture, but it's more of a cult of celebrity now. If you've got media time, if you're exposed on the media somehow to the masses, you have it. You are God. You're a demigod. Right. And that's what people yearn for. They want that exposure. They'll do it. That's why, you see, the people who created Facebook and MySpace and the other social media knew that this yearning for celebrity was now being put into the hands of the masses.
Of course. That's exactly what it is. It's, now you can be somebody. And while you're being somebody on Facebook, never realizing the people who put this together and people who are organizing these social medias all work for government, CIA, NSA, USIA, all these secret organizations for intelligence in America. That's what's behind all of this stuff. And now they know what you look like. They know who your friends are. They have your phone numbers and your address. They know how you think. And they know the people who think
George,
like you.
They don't even have to do any work because the idiots put it up on Facebook.
I know. That's what I'm saying. And they know who your friends are, too.
Yeah.
They got pictures of them. So it's all quite a story, and I don't know where it's all going to go. Between you and I, my question is, whoever it is, and this is just a philosophical question, but whoever it is that's actually gave us, life, whoever it is that created us, what are the powers in heaven thinking and looking at what's going on the earth? I mean, do we have anything coming to help and to protect the human family? It's just...
I don't see it. No, the common denominator is plummeting. This is going to go down all the way out into this vortex, and eventually it'll come out the other side. Where that is, I don't know. The pendulum historically swings.
And it's so frustrating to see all this going on. And, of course, I said weeks ago here on air that the IRS is not going after the Democrats because they are the establishment party. And they're not going after establishment Republicans because they're part of the establishment. They're only going after the Tea Party, gun owners, gun groups, pro-life groups, people that have any sense of morals, any sense of not doing whatever the power structure says.
Any of you look at Saturn with the naked eye, I defy any of you to tell me you can see rings up there. Yeah. I don't think it's possible. So how did the ancients know there were rings?
Oh yeah, that's a very good question. And why is there a penta? I mean, why is there a hexagram, a six-pointed hexagram on the North Pole of Saturn? That's another one too for you. I mean,
that is.
Yeah, a hexagram on Saturn. And I sent you an email just now. Are you able to?
I'm looking at it.
I was going to talk about how the name for God is the word God in Hebrew is E-L-L. But the God of the ancient Saturnian people that we call the Hebrews was they said that his name was 4 letters, which today we refer to it, the spelling of God's name is called the Tetragrammaton. And it's the Tetragrammaton, A-T-O-N, Tetragrammaton.
Like Aton?
Aton was a sun in Egypt. The Aton was a sun in Egypt. So that's why you have the 4 letters of the Hebrew alphabet put together for the name of God, and they call that the Tetragrammaton. And when you take those 4 letters in the Hebrew and put them together in a configuration in a circle, they become a swastika. And I just sent you a picture of that.
I see it identically. Now, for you folks, just imagine a swastika, if you will, and take the 4 arms and pull them directly away from center. Pull the top one up, pull the left one to the left, pull the right one to the right, and then you've got an open space in the middle. And you have, basically, if you look at it, you'll have 4 L's in a circle. Right. L, 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 L. And in the center would be a circle. Now you have something else in the center on this drawing.
And this is not my drawing. This is from a Jewish reference work.
But that's the point, that these 4 L's make the swastika, and it stands for the sun walking across the sky. How interesting.
Mm-hmm. And so the Hebrews were involved in sun worship. They were involved in moon worship. They were involved in Saturnian or Saturn worship. They've been involved in the worship of Jupiter. It's very interesting when you go back into the history of the Phoenician Canaanite people that we today call Hebrews. And see, the Hebrew language is not an exclusive language. This is what people have no idea about, that the Hebrew, when we talk about speaking the Hebrew language, Well, first of all, there is no such a thing as a Hebrew language, period. There is a Phoenician Canaanite language which we call Hebrew. And the reason why is because the people we call Hebrew speak this language, and it's a Phoenician Canaanite language, but the Hebrews speak it. So we say, well, it's Hebrew. No, it's not Hebrew. It's Phoenician Canaanite. It's a Phoenician language, but the Hebrews speak it. So understanding that, now you can go into the ancient Phoenician Canaanite gods and see how the Hebrews have brought those ancient Phoenician Canaanite pagan gods into the modern day world, and the symbolism, the occult symbolism of the swastika, the five-pointed star, the pentagram, the symbols on the synagogues, the symbol of the in Islam and Mecca, that goes back to the old Saturnian symbol for the Saturn in the ancient Arabic world. Islam is nothing more than the worship of the planet of Saturn, and the Mecca is the old black square. And anybody who's done any research on the ancient god Saturn knows that that was one of the symbols in the Arabic world for the planet Saturn, was a black square, and it was called the Kaaba, which was a black cube, and there's a whole study of the black cube, the black square, in relation to the planet Saturn, and there's a whole study going on about the connection between the tetragrammaton, name for God in Hebrew, going back to the swastika, and so many of most people don't realize that 4/5 of all the Jews on the earth are not Semitic. That's another big subject of mine that I'm just amazed that people use terms that they don't understand. But 4/5 of the Jews on the earth are not Semitic to start with. They're called Ashkenazi, N-A-Z-I, Ashkenazi. And so there's a definite connection between the ancient Semitic peoples, the ancient Sumerian peoples, ancient Sumerians, the ancient Hindus, the sun god Aton in Egypt, and how all of this stuff has evolved over and mutated over the centuries, over thousands of years. It's mutated, evolved, and comes to us today as the Hebrew religion, the Islamic religion of Muhammad, the Christian religion. All of these ancient religions come from the same source.
And it's gone.